Hey, it's Tim, Pickup Truck Plus SUV Talk, and today I'm in Hawaii. Yeah, that's the ocean, that's volcano, that's the Grand Highlander. Okay, two of these three things aren't the same. So in this video, let's talk about this Grand Highlander, 2023 Grand Highlander. I'll tell you some initial likes and dislikes on this really busy road I'm on in Hawaii. And Tacoma. They're everywhere out here. It's like ants. So this is the Grand Highlander. Basically the same as a Highlander, except for the grill's a little bit different, a little bit longer. You have a real third row. You can fit adults back there. And, well, that's about it. The suspension's, carried over. The rest of it's a ground up redesign, but it has a lot in common with the Highlander. We have the 20-inch wheels here, this Platinum Edition. This is a gas version. I'll tell you more about that in a minute we get inside. But the biggest key news is this third row. You can sit in the nice, comfortable seats, which, by the way, that sounds like a plan. Let's take a seat. So this has two row. We have this removable. This moves, I promise you. There it goes. It comes up, gets out of the way, so you can walk through there if you want to. And then we have the third row back there, which, all right, let's get back there. Take one for the team. I do, in the second row here, have the handy dandy, there we go, stay. The coverings to stop the sun glare coming through for the kids in the back seats. I do have some nice tan material here on the seat as we do a little dance and move back. Boom. So two key things back here. First off, this step here is designed, engineered. That's how they want to use it. It goes in like this. It's freaking perfect. It is absolutely perfect. Kids gonna love it. Nailed it. Other thing here is right here. This is a built-in grab handle. You can see right there, right? This, well, that's perfect too. I absolutely use both of those. So hop in, and I didn't that time. Keep in mind, I am holding a camera. This isn't the easiest thing to do, holding a camera. So back here in the third row, plenty of headroom. If I slide over here and sit behind myself, this person here, yeah, I actually fit. Now this seat's all the way back. If I move it up a little bit, or it's right here actually, it's right there. There we go. I move, give myself just a touch more space. Yeah, 5'7", fit back there. You can have real adults back here. This is that grab holder I was telling you about, USB on it. Look how this is perfect. You have cup holders, and you have a little slot here big enough to hold a tablet, which is really important. Lots of kids these days have tablets or phones, whatever. So you're sitting back here, USBs. I have headroom. I have headroom up there. Yeah, this is a big deal. These days, a 3-row SUV with real 3 rows is pretty darn popular, because not only do you have real seats for people, not emergency third row seats, but you also have more cargo room. You fold down these seats and these seats, and you can fit a lot of stuff back here. I'm gonna go ahead and go on a limb and say even a 4x8 sheet of plywood fit back here, which is pretty remarkable for most SUVs. Let's go ahead and hop in the front and do a little driving. And I'll tell you some more likes and dislikes. Well, maybe that's oh, it's cut there, but then if you do the, all right, don't be awkward like me. So I got to show you the rear, right? So this is the rear of the Highlander. The bumper's a little bit different than the Grand Highlander. And you have Grand Highlander spelled out here with some lettering. I think it's about the same. It's a similar, very similar idea to a Highlander, just a little bit bigger. You can fit up to 7 rollerboards back here with that seat up. You can stack them sideways, and again, put on all these rows of seats, and you have plenty of room. The only thing that I can see people discussing is you do have kind of a high load height here. This is at my hip, and I'm 5'7", so dogs. I always get a question about dogs. That's a pretty good jump in for a dog. So just something to keep in mind. Something to keep in mind. Okay, let's get up front. I do have this nice wood finish here. I do have hard plastic up here, which I don't mind actually in a family vehicle like this, because you can clean this really easily. It holds up pretty well to sun glare, that kind of stuff. And we have some nice stitching here and that there. Okay. Inside the cabin, we have heated steering wheel, auto headlights. I have the rear tailgate opener. I have the fuel door. I have a little cubby here for just, well, little cubby. Okay, I have seating positions, and I have behind the wheel. There's a wheel. By the way, it says I'm getting 15 miles per gallon. Ignore this. This thing's been idling all day long. Fuel economy is never accurate in press drives. Never really accurate. We have different adjustments there for the radio and cruise control and wipers, and it is a real headlight switch button. Hello, Chevy Colorado. I do have my CarPlay going, but this has got the same infotainment screen you saw last year with the Tundra. I did a bunch of videos on this. Same screen. What's nice about this screen is the Tundra sits up a little bit higher. This is much more condensed, fits in there better. You have better visibility of the lava rock right there, which, by the way, interesting lava rock. I actually really like it. It's kind of cool to look at. Cooled seats, heated seats. I have the controls here. What's nice is they're not doing gloss black here. This is like a matted black, and so it doesn't like shine. See, this is gloss black here. This, I actually like this better. This seems like I can keep fingerprints off of it easily and clean up a little bit better. We have wireless charger here, which is interesting because the Tundra had a wireless charger that was really difficult to use. I turned down the fan here for a second. Fan. There we go. The wireless charger in a Tundra would actually sit up and slide back and forth. In this case, we go down. We have a little bit of there's a little indent here to keep it in. I did notice if you take a really sharp turn, it will move over out of the way. But most driving, this is going to keep the phone charged. I think this is a better setup than in the Tundra. We have a little storage here. We have a shifter. So this shifter is interesting. In the hybrid versions of the Toyota Grand Highlander, it's more of like a Prius shifter, which I'm hoping to show you guys later on this afternoon, or later on in the video. The Prius shifter is like this big. This is a bit bigger because you have a 8-speed automatic transmission in here. I have cup holders, and I have the his and her kind of armrests, which are nice. This is straight from the Tundra. Nice. You have lots of room in here. This will fit a tablet, by the way, if you go like this. See how big 8.5, 11? But I have a little tray in there. So the tray's out of there. I can fit that all the way down in. Works really well. We have the seats. What's interesting is, unlike other brands, we're not doing something splashy on these seats. We're just a nice, basic, good seat. A little storage area here, and USB plug in there as well. There's 7 USB-Cs in here. This is a JBL 11 speaker system, which I might have been rocking out to. I do also have the rear view camera. This is cool. It takes the camera off the rear of the vehicle, puts it on here screen. This is really helpful at night, cuts down the glare at night. Something nobody really talks about for whatever reason. Panoramic moonroof in this model as well. Let's go ahead and go for a drive, and I'll tell you more about this Grand Highlander and a few more details. More stuff coming. Okay, before I hit the road and leave the lava field behind us, I want to go make sure I go over some details on these extensive notes I took this morning. Not really that extensive. There's going to be 3 trim levels. There's an XLE, a Limited, and Platinum. You have a 2.4 liter turbo, which is what this is a gas version. We have the 2.5 liter hybrid. That's going to be the really good fuel economy. 36 miles per gallon combined is what they're saying on that one. Then the other engine option is the Hybrid Max, which for really high trim levels. And that's big deal. It's 362 horsepower. But it's interesting. I'm waiting to drive the hybrid. I'm going to put that in the video. I've been driving this base around, the turbo, which I believe I have some specs for it. Yeah, 310 foot torque at 3,600 RPMs and 265 horsepower. It's 20, 26, 22 as far as fuel economy. This one, you can definitely have a little bit of turbo lag in this one for sure. If you're not used to that, you press the foot down and it takes a little bit to catch on. It fires off the line. The Hybrid Max is really quick, 362 horsepower, but it's almost like the hood raises up, you really get on it, it gets so squirrely. I'm not sure I really like that one. I'm waiting to see, because I think the hybrid is really where it's at, and they only have one of those at this event. The other details I'll make sure I talk about in the video: wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto, wireless charging, which is really cool too. Getting all that stuff. We have the 7 USB ports. Oh, we have a 1500 watt plug-in in the back. So it's available plug-in, so you can do all sorts of power in this vehicle, which is really cool. And there is an available heated and cooled second row seats. Heated and cooled second row seats. This one has the 12-inch Limited and Platinum have the digital display. There is, and I'll show you this on the screen when I get out of the sun a little bit, there is a 7-inch display as well with some regular gauges. Regular mechanical gauges. Beyond that, this is interesting. There's a driver profile which uses your the camera here that usually on most systems that does autonomous driving will see your eyeballs, make sure you're watching the road. In this case, it'll actually read your eyeballs, recognize who you are, and as a driver profile, actually pull up your profile here on the main screen, change your radio, change your seat position, change your mirrors, get the vehicle set up the way you want to, get the radio presets the way you want to, and then they can do multiple different drivers. So if I got in and my wife got in, it would change the seat and it changed the mirrors and everything based on the facial recognition software. So whether that freaks you out or doesn't, it's kind of interesting. I hadn't heard that one before. That stood out to me in the meeting this morning, and I'm not sure you guys have heard that either, because that's something I never really talked about. And you can opt into it, so you don't force into it, you're opt into it. And we have a standard active noise canceling on this, and so we have some lower decibels inside the cabin. Again, same suspension, similar to the Highlander, but everything else is a little bit different. And one of the big keys, and one of the things I was thinking about when I was starting to drive this, and let's go for a drive. Okay, as we hit the road here, I'm gonna get that turbo lag going. There we go. So it's just a different driving experience, and if you get used to so it's just that little bit of lag. So if I just, you know, slow down, and then I try to hit it, that little kicks up. If you're not used to that, you're gonna be like, oh, turbo lag is terrible, whatever. But when you get used to that, you feather the gas pedal a little bit better, and you won't have that same turbo lag. It's just a matter of driving. One of the things I want to talk about, we talked about in the meeting this morning we had on the presentation on this, is that Toyota believes that the Highlander will still be the volume seller. 225,000 units a year, 240, somewhere in that range. And the Grand Highlander will be less. Maybe 40,000 the first year, 120,000 as they ramp up more production. But I don't understand that. Like, the price point for the base level XLE Highlander versus the Grand Highlander, the difference is $1,000. If you do the all-wheel drive, so this comes in front-wheel drive and all-wheel drive, you do all-wheel drive XLE, the difference is another $1,500 as of pricing right up today. It starts at $43,070 if I can read my writing. Looking at the top level, like this Platinum in right now with the gas is $54,880. The Platinum in the Highlander is $49,475, and this has got no real options. So your difference there in price point is $5,000. My point of view on this is very simple. If I were to go out and buy a family vehicle that I want to use for long distance driving or just haul the family around, why wouldn't I want to go with the longer Grand Highlander to not only get the real seating in the rear seats for 3 people, but also additional storage room, and make that vehicle that much more useful if my price difference is about $3,000, or in a lower trim levels, $1,000 difference. Like, I think this is going to be a vehicle that Toyota dealerships are going to have a hard time keeping in stock, because unless you have a garage situation, you can't fit it in a parking spot situation where length is a problem, I would go bigger for the price point. Okay, let's open this thing up. That's 40, that's 50, that's 60. One thing you really like about a hybrid system, this uses a nickel hydride battery, right? Nickel metal hydride. That was close. Is that you get that better torque curve, which means when I put my foot on the accelerator, it feels like it's got more power throughout the entire acceleration. Not like the turbo, where it just would build up and go. This one, it doesn't feel like it's nearly as laggy, because that is that electric powertrain working with the existing powertrain, and so you get that better driving dynamics, in my opinion. This is XLE all-wheel drive. The seats are pretty comfortable. I actually would buy this one. This is the one I would probably take home in the Grand Highlander. People have been driving around all day, and it's still showing 32.7 miles per gallon, which typically on a drive event, like I said earlier in the video, you ignore that stuff, but this thing has been so hot, it hasn't been sitting very long. People have been driving it because everybody wants to get behind the wheel of the hybrid version of this Grand Highlander, and it makes a lot of sense. Got some hard plastic surfaces. People are going to make a big deal about that or not make a big deal about that. For me, easy to clean, easy to wipe off, and looks like it's pretty durable, which is what I'd want in a family SUV like this one. Oh, and you may be wondering about suspension or handling, how that works. It handles really nice. Suspension is pretty set up. I don't have any concerns. I'm driving on some really nice blacktop here though in Hawaii, so I'd have to wait to get home to drive on some different driving conditions, maybe those we consider more challenging. Yeah, I'll drive that later. But yeah, so overall, I mean, I'd have no qualms taking this with what it's set up to do. And again, it's pretty good. I mean, it's not as good as the Hybrid Max, 362 horsepower. That one really takes off. But this one, I think, for fuel economy, for price, for features, again, this is where it's at. So yeah, this is what I would buy. I don't know what trim level I'd get, but $47,000, 3-row, plus the better fuel economy at 33 miles, 32 combined. 36 is actually the number they put out for the EPA estimated. It's just darn good. And yeah, head back to the beautiful surroundings here in Hawaii. So for more, check the videos over here, website down below as well, pickuptrucktalk.com. As always, thanks for watching. I will see you down the road.